Welcome back to the best book ever. Last week, we met the family of Elimelech and heard what happened to them in Moab. Today, we're continuing to read about Ruth and Naomi. How will they survive in a land that valued sheep more than single women? Ruth, chapter 2, from the Message translation. It so happened that Naomi had a relative by marriage, a man prominent and rich connected with Elimelech's family. His name was Boaz. One day, Ruth, the Moabite foreigner, said to Naomi, "I'm going to work. I'm going out to glean among the sheaves, following after some harvesters who will treat me kindly." And Naomi said, "Go ahead, dear daughter." So she set out. She went and started gleaning in a field, following in the wake of the harvesters. Eventually, she ended up in the part of the field owned by Boaz, her father-in-law Elimelech's relative. A little later, Boaz came out from Bethlehem, greeting his harvesters, "God be with you!" And they replied, "And God bless you!" Boaz asked his young servant, who was his foreman over the farm hands, "Who's that young woman? Where did she come from?" The foreman said, "Why, that's the Moabite girl, the one who came with Naomi from the country of Moab. She asked permission. 'Let me glean,' she said, 'and gather among the sheaves, following after your harvesters.' She's been at it steady ever since, from early morning till now, without so much as a break." Then Boaz spoke to Ruth. "Listen, my daughter. From now on, don't go to any other field to glean. Stay right here in this one, and stay close to my young women. Watch where they are harvesting and follow them. But don't worry about a thing. I've given orders to my servants not to harass you. When you get thirsty, feel free to go and drink from the water buckets that the servants have filled." She dropped to her knees, then bowed, her face to the ground. "How does this happen that you should pick me out and treat me so kindly? Me, a foreigner?" Boaz answered her, "I've heard all about you, heard all about the way you treated your mother-in-law after the death of her husband, and how you left your father and mother and the land of your birth, and have come to live among a bunch of total strangers. God reward you well for what you've done, and with a generous bonus besides from God, to whom you've come seeking protection under his wings." She said, "Oh, sir, such grace, such kindness! I don't deserve it. You've touched my heart, treated me like one of your own, and I don't even belong here." At the lunch break, Boaz said to her, "Come over here, eat some bread, dip it in the wine." So she joined the harvesters. Boaz passed the roast grain to her. She ate her fill, and had some left over. When she got up to go back to work, Boaz ordered his servants, "Let her glean where it's still plenty of grain on the ground. Make it easy for her. Better yet, pull some of the good stuff out and leave it for her to glean. Give her special treatment." Ruth gleaned in the field until evening, when she threshed out what she had gathered. She ended up with nearly a full sack of barley. She gathered up her gleanings, went back to town, and showed her mother-in-law the results of her day's work. She also gave her the leftovers from her lunch. Naomi asked her, "Where did you glean today? Whose field? God bless whoever it was who took such good care of you." Ruth told her mother-in-law, The man with whom I work today? His name is Boaz. Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, Why, God bless that man. God hasn't quite walked out on us after all. He still loves us, in bad times as well as good. Naomi went on, The man, Ruth, is one of our circle of covenant redeemers, a close relative of ours. Ruth, the Moabitess, said, Well, listen to this. He also told me, Stick with my workers until the harvesting is finished. Naomi said to Ruth, That's wonderful, dear daughter, do that. You'll be safe in the company of his young women. No danger now of being raped in some stranger's field. So Ruth did it. She stuck close to Boaz's young women, gleaning in the fields daily until both the barley and wheat harvests were finished, and she continued living with her mother-in-law. How astounding is our God! It may have been normal in any of the surrounding nations for the poor and destitute to glean behind the harvesters, but here we find out about God's provision for the poor. Normally the farmers in Moab would have harvested all the grain and then returned to pick up any ears that had been missed before allowing the poor to search for the rubbish they left behind. But God made a law, recorded in Deuteronomy 24, to ensure the farmers left enough grain for the poor to gather. The law was not give a portion of your harvest to the poor, but leave the gleanings and the grain at the edge of the field so the poor can work to gather the food they need. Or, to put it another way, show the poor respect by giving those who are poor through no fault of their own the opportunity to provide for themselves and their family with honor. We also see God's provision in sending Ruth to Boaz's field. As it states, in any other field, you could be harmed. Ruth is set in the time of the judges, when people did as they liked, and this included beating up and even killing foreigners, just because they were foreign. Thankfully, Boaz liked to obey God, and this included showing respect and humanity to everyone, even foreigners who may have otherwise had no help, protection, or legal status. I can't relate to this part of the story well, as I've never tried to live long-term in a different culture where I need to change everything to be safe. I imagine it must have been as much of a culture shock to Ruth as if I were moved to China or Japan. What do you think? Please like, comment, subscribe, and share on social media to spread the blessing. I'll see you next time. God bless you.